Hey, what's up, everybody? Peter back here with you, and in this segment, I want to go over some fruits. Um, we have a cantaloupe. We have a baby small watermelon. These round watermelons, they've become pretty popular recently over the last 10 years. I have a grapefruit. I have orange, lemon, apple, lime, and a dragon fruit. So we're just going to do some vegetable preparation with these fruits, give you an idea of how to go about handling them. So for now, I'm going to set most of the stuff to the back, and we'll work one at a time with each fruit. So, part of my career, a big part of my career actually, has been working as a chef garde manger in high volume convention hotels, catering situations, and, a lot of cold food. With that said, I've done a lot of work with fruits and vegetables, but fruits in particular. A lot of fruit trays over the years, and vegetable trays as well. But one thing that I had this, you know, working with the melons, really has become a passion for me, and it's something I want to show you. Hopefully this will help you understand a good way to approach cutting a cantaloupe, a honeydew, a cassava, a watermelon. So, and I highly recommend, once again, our Victorinox 7.5-inch serrated knife. This particular knife is great for doing this kind of work with the fruits, and for me it's my go-to, and I think you can purchase it through my website, modernfoodideas.com. If you do purchase through the link there, I do get a small percentage of the sale, so just so that you're aware of that. But it's a great knife, it's amazing. And so what I do with the cantaloupe, right, we're going to take the ends off of it. And so I'm going to slice through here, and we're going to take, 3/4 of an inch to an inch off of each end. And so we got the ends off of it. Now, what I do is I look at the melon, and, usually they're not perfectly round. Sometimes, like with this one, it's slightly oblong. I'm looking for the easiest edge to take off first before I work my way around the melon. So I look for the steepest edge. So I'm looking, when I look at this, what I'm seeing is right here is more or less the steepest edge. So what I'm going to do, and usually your first cut is going to be the widest cut. One of the things that I like to do is go in about 1-inch increments around the melon. So let me show you how that works. So first we're going to come in here on this steep edge, and we're going to slice through it like so. And you can see that's a little bit wider. That's almost 2-inch width there. But once I get that off, then it becomes very easy to take it off in 1-inch increments. And what I do is I use my eyes to help me watch as I slice the skin off of the melon, to keep that at that 1-inch diameter across the melon. So I'm going to go here, and my eye is focused right here. And I'm coming down and around. There you go. Now we got a little green there, so we want to remove that. So once again, we're slicing. We're trying to just take 1 inch at a time. Like so. So that's what we have there. And then there you go. So I'm only going to go halfway around this because I'm going to show you something else with the other half of the melon here. But we're going to cut this in half like so. And then obviously, right, they always have the seeds internally. So what I do is I grab a spoon. And a lot of times, now here I have, this is like a paring knife size. So it's oftentimes working with fruits, paring knife becomes very handy, and sometimes with vegetables. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to outline the seed membrane area. And that's just going to help make it a little bit easier when I go in here with my spoon to pull the seeds right out. And we're going to want to get all these seeds out of here. Okay, so there, we have a nice clean melon there. We're going for our compost pile. With the skins and the seeds, they're going into the compost pile. And rather than throw them out, composting is a more sustainable way to utilize the trim off of the melon. Now, so at this point, there's a couple different ways to present this. One of the things we did a lot of in the hotel industry with the fruit trays is I would slice 1/4 inch slices like so, and then you can lay them out and you can shingle them like so. You can stand them up. You know, we can shingle them like this. We can shingle them like this. So it gives you a few different opportunities when it comes to presentation. Then another thing that I'll do is I'll cut like a wedge shape. So we've got a wedge shape like so. Another way to create a presentation with the melon. Then another opportunity we have once we have the wedges is we can do dice. Now this is great for fruit salad. Okay, so you got nice diced pieces of cantaloupe that can go into a fruit salad. So that's another opportunity. And then something that my grandmother was very fond of, and I'll show you. Once again, we're gonna remove the seeds, and we're gonna put the seeds are going into the compost. I'm just gonna outline with the paring knife here, and then I'm gonna clean the seeds out. So when I was growing up, we would go visit my grandmother, where I spent a lot of time with my grandmother in Maine as well. And my grandmother became very instrumental in providing food for me as a child. I'd go to Maine and spend weeks, sometimes months with her. But she was real big on 3 meals a day at the same time every day. And, you know, one of her routines would be that each day we would go to the market, and it was a small little market grocery store. It wasn't even a grocery store, it was a little market that had a a butcher section where he had uh, the the owner of the store had meats, charcuterie meats, seafood. Mr. Jackson was his name, and the store was called Jackson's. And we would go there almost on a regular basis and pick out what we were going to have for the day, or maybe a day or two. But we would never buy more than we need for more than a couple of days. Um, One of the things Grandma liked to do at breakfast was serve cantaloupe or honeydew melon. And what she would do is she would clean it like this and leave it on the skin. And then she would slice it into quarters like so. And then what she would do is take the paring knife, and we're just going to cut right underneath the skin here. We're not going to go through the very back end of it. So then we're going to take it and do the same thing on the other side, close to the skin. We're not going to go through the very back. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to take a slice down the middle, and then we are going to slice cubes across. Like so. And then this will go on the plate. And so that's what Grandma would do. She would serve us melon on a plate like so. And one of her tricks was sprinkle a little bit of salt on the melon, and the saltiness with the sweetness of the melon would contrast, and it gives you a great flavor with the melon. So that's cantaloupe, and I hope you enjoyed this little segment on cantaloupe melon. It's one of my favorites to work with, and I hope you get a lot of enjoyment with the next opportunity to prepare cantaloupe melon. That's what I got for you on cantaloupe, so thanks a lot. And coming up, I'll have the next fruit that we're going to move to is going to be watermelon. I'm going to show you. It's very similar to cantaloupe. So, but anyway, we're going to move on to watermelon. Thanks.
Sweet.